Got some drama happening here. Boom! That's a big lead. Gave it to the support, but whatever. At least Ashley will be somewhat useful, I guess. Alright, welcome back to another SHRINE BREAKER video. We're up against Gwen, and this video is mostly going to talk about the matchup. How to beat Gwen. So basically it's just a matter of getting ahead of her. It's really it. If she gets ahead of you, she beats you. You get ahead of her, you can stomp her. And the main reason for that is Volibear can easily get ahead of her. And how to do that is to always push the wave, keep your passive active. And you only want to engage when your passive is active. When it's not, that's where she can kick your ass. So you got to be careful. You got to stack that passive, use your E, take advantage of your strong early AP, especially with the absolute focus. Scaling, it gives you about 2 Dawn Wings worth of damage, and Gathering Storm kicks in, it's going to be even more. So we're going to focus on Mythic early, because the Mythic that we're building is Frostfire, and it's very cheap compared to Riftmaker, what Gwen is running. So if you can stomp her, get ahead, get that really cheap item, you can pretty much roll over as you're building into the second item, which is going to be Hull Breaker. You got Ignite and Ghost to run her down. She's a kiting type champion, with her dashes and immunity to damage and stuff.
It's me.
Diana's here to save the day.
Here's something that won't wash off.
I don't think I would have died here though. Gwen was not far up enough. So I'm gonna back off, get some items since I'm low. To buy Ruby, and the thing that's important about my playstyle is you always want to stack health. Because with Demolish, the more health you have, the more damage you're gonna deal to the towers. So early on, when you stack health, it's gonna be easier to take it one plate at a time. With Demolish and quickly go back, buy your item, instead of wasting so much time autoing the tower, and then go back, and by the time you go back, the wave's already shoved into your tower, which is not a good thing. The main goal is to have your tower down more than, the enemy tower down more than your own tower. You want to keep this alive as much as possible. Should be able to get hit here. Unfortunately, I don't. She dashes. Close. Go back and catch his canyon. You can see she's forced to go back again. She buys a wand, so she has a bit of damage. And that's what you want to pay attention to. Every time the enemy returns to lane, you got to look at this scoreboard and realize what kind of items, what kind of damage they have before you fight. So in this situation, I don't want to fight. I want to get a Bambi at least before I fight her. So I'm just farming up and getting that item. And waiting for my summon. My Knight will be up, Ghost will be up. And she has no flash, so it's easy for Volibear to stick onto her. Griefing a little bit. So I got the Bambi. What's nice is that Diana with the Bambi too, so you got, when we're together, when she ganks like that, it's gonna be easy. Easy shutdown. Especially when you got Ashley's ult. She ults someone, me and Diana can easily kill someone. Easily. We're probably going to see a lot of that in this game. I love Ashley. We work well together. Diana works well. BR works well with his gate. You can ult people, you know, they're stuck in that. And, you know, all of this CC is really good for MF. You know, she can ult during that time. But I'm not focused on doing too much team fighting. I'm going to split for my team so that they can get the objectives. My goal is to distract and get everybody to my lane so my team can get the dragon or the baron. And I can always back off. I got ghost and I can fight them if I need to. It won't matter if you die so much because the amount of gold that you get off the wave and the towers. Then you can go right back at it, get another tower. Especially if your team is behind and you got like bounties on these towers, it can be really good.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Unfortunately, we lost that. So I don't know what she's doing. She's supposed to back off here. My passive is active here, so I can fight it. I don't know why she jumps on me. I ignite her right away. I'm gonna ult. I dived it. Oh, she has no getaway, no flash, no nothing. So that's the one thing that sucks is when you're against Volibear, you gotta have either a ghost or flash. You gotta be able to stay as far back as possible. I know ignite and teleport can work so well on Gwen, but like I said, you know, if you're ahead, it works. But if you're not, you're gonna be struggling. Alright, pretty sure I'm gonna go back and get some items here.
A little green.
Possible gank here. Diana should be topside for the rift. Being here is, you know, you got vision here. Or it was, yeah, vision here. In fact, she should look for a counter play here. You know, she can easily kill Twitch. This is fine. This right here, I don't care about it because I already got it down halfway. I know what's the plan. We're gonna get this whiff and I'm gonna use it on this tower. So I can sacrifice that one plate. And I'm waiting for Frostfire. I don't know how much gold left. Get that, I finally get it. I think I was like maybe 100 gold. I completely sat there and waited because there's no sense in going back to the lane. You know, might as well get the Frostfire and hard stomp Gwen when she doesn't even have an item yet. You know, she's kind of spread out. She's not focusing on, you know, the Rift Maker herself. I try to see if I can help here, but unfortunately they get rolled over. So I go back and push, keep that passive stacked.
Shut down.
So I'm gonna push this wave, and then I wanna, you know, make sure that we have vision on this. And the crab's gonna spawn soon, so I want to be able to pick that up. And it's gonna make it harder for them to challenge the rift. Especially when you got the Volibear ahead. Clear that. Got 30G there off that ward. Now Gwen's ahead in CS. It's kind of typical. It's easy for her to farm. I'm not worried about that. Once I get my, you know, my items like Titanic, I can easily catch up here. I don't know what she's doing. My passive is active. I got Frostfire. There's no way she's gonna win this fight. She doesn't have items. I go in. Diana's here. And that's an easy rift right there. So I get a plate, And then I tell Diana, I say, hey, give me that rift, because I can use it better than anyone in the game. And she does. She gives it to me. That's what you want to do. You want to ask. You want to ask your jungler. Otherwise, they're going to take it, and they're not going to utilize it right. They're just going to use it on this whole tower as a distraction to get the dragon, which doesn't work. It does not work at all. You can get some gold, whoopie-doo, but like, the best way to use it is on a half tower. That way you can get the gold, crash this in, get another gold if you dive it, and then if you kill everybody, you can crash it in a third. That's the best way to utilize it, but most of the time you hit it in here, and then you hit it here, which is fine. And, you know, these baby towers, this right here is a baby tower. I call that one baby tower. Baby tower. Easily break that with demolish. Alright, so I pick up cooldown boots. And the thing about cooldown boots is you got 20 here, 40. That's more than enough, Volibear. And the main reason why I take this is because I want to be able to spam my abilities more often. But not too often. I just need it just enough because I have Titanic. So spamming the W is the main thing. But having that Q up, which I'm maxing second, which already has cooldown reduction on it, if you max it. So you can spam that with a Titanic and deal a lot of damage. Plus, you get your ult sooner. Alright, she wastes her ult here, I just kite her out a bit, and then I fight it. And I go back into my wave so I can win this fight. She's got nothing to back her up. Oh, she tries to kill the rift before it crashes in. So this is good enough. I can push this wave and try to get my demolish off. We got Caitlyn coming up. I'm gonna dive. I got my ult. Not worried about her. Demolish, take that out. Boom. Get more gold that way. Now I'm gonna go back and buy my item. Got dragon up. So I want to be able to get back into lane and pressure. Ooh, got an ult here, but nobody here to do anything, so I don't understand. Like, what kind of ult is that when nobody's in the area? I just don't understand why you would waste it. So I pick up the phase, I'm working on, and I pick up this because I'm a hard. I'm like, the actual wave clear is going to make it easier for me to pressure. So, you know, all this gold, when you get a tower like this is free farm. And we're waiting on the second rift. So we can just keep pushing, farming, and all this gold. I need like, what is it? 2100 for Titanic. And then only 1700 for the Hullbreaker. I'm definitely going to go Hullbreaker second. I think in this game I had enough money to buy Titanic, but I don't because I'm focused on being tanky and utilizing the canyon. Especially when you have the second rift crashing in to the towers. Alright, so she's creeping here. And Diana needs to be at the dragon. I don't know what she's doing. I don't need her help. I'm constantly telling her, go to the dragon. I can do this myself. The reason being is because everybody's going to be distracted by me, which is going to make it easier for my team to do it. She doesn't understand that. She doesn't know that. You have to communicate that. Like, really communicate that to your team. Alright, Twitch. I don't know what he's doing. Creeping. Oh! And I back off because I know they're all here. Gonna stop me. And Dragon's wide open. I don't understand why nobody's taking it. They're just... I don't know what they're doing. Diana's still here. So I go back, but Caitlyn's here and Diana wants to make a play here, so which is fine. Hey, everybody's mid. I got her. Going on her. Got my W. Chomp. Alright, back the fuck off. I mean, I decided to go back in, but like I want my team to get that dragon. That's the most important thing. So alright, whatever. We go ahead and take this tower and I get the fuck out of here. Diana's good as dead. I don't know why she didn't back immediately. She went forward, which is a big mistake. I can't help her here. I don't want to. I get out of here.
Blue team's turret has been
Let's see what they do. I don't know if they're going to be able to do this or not. I mean, Twitch is over here. He is making his way over. They might end up killing us, Ashy. No? Let's see what happens here. Flash over the wall, but she goes too far. Like she. Oh no! And then she ults. Gee, that's really bad. You see what I mean? Like this whole time while I'm here, they could have just done the dragon. So you really have to hard communicate that to your team. You know, type that shit. But be nice. Just type. Like, take a moment to type and tell them. Explain shit so they understand. Don't sit there and like blame them. Just tell them. Explain to them. So I explained to Diana. I tell her straight up, like, I can do this myself. I don't need help. I got Hull Breaker. And I tell her basically what I'm doing to help them get these objectives. So I communicate that. And it only takes a minute to do that. Just type that shit. And I tell her I want the second rift because I can end the game on it. So it's fully communicated. They give me the rift. There we go. Let's take a look at her items. So she's behind. I already got Hull Breaker and I'm working on the Titan. That's pretty much how you win against Gwen. You just got to get ahead of her. And by doing that is your early game, you got to take advantage of your wave clear. Keep doing that. She's dead. I don't know why she is. Like, what is... Wow. So I communicate, I tell everybody to stay top, mid, push those lanes while I push bot. And if they come for me, let's see the dragon timer, we've got a minute. If they come for me, that's an open window for Baron. And then I can just take everything here. So if they decide to go, I can just take everything. And if they stay and defend, my team can just do the Baron. It's pretty much what you want to do. And you know, if you can't take these towers, that's fine. I try to get this red buff. I got my E over here. It lands. Got the ignite on Twitch. She's dead. Boom. I don't know how many times I killed people with my ult. Alright, I got the rift, so I was like, this is good, we're gonna pop it here. And she's dead. It's done. Got the CC off on Gwen there, nothing she could do. We're gonna take everything all the way to the Nexus Towers. And all I gotta do is cast my E. And I can block the tower damage. I'll get out of range here. Crash in and take that out. Crash into this, and then we're going to be able to crash into another tower. Oh, but unfortunately we have to back off here. We don't want to risk a Baron. So now we just have one tower and a Nexus. That's it. And I'm pretty sure I can afford a Titanic right now. So all that gold you just raked up there, I mean, you're snowballing. Like she don't even have a second item. Alright, we got Titanic, and I sell the Dawn's Ring, and I upgrade it to a Blasted Wand. And I'm going to build that it's situational. You can build it into Demonic or Nashis. So when I decide, it's based on items. So I look at the items, and I don't see Lord Doms. And they might build it eventually, but the thing is, I'm ahead. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go Demonic here. It's gonna be really good into Gwen. I'm just gonna, burn her ass. There's not much she's gonna do. Get all that AoE damage in combination with Titanic. And it scales with your ult. Gives you ult more damage. Alright, she wasted her ult there. So it's gonna be easy push for me. Got the dragon spawning soon.
Killing spree.
My team's creeping here. Got Baron up. Dragon's about to spawn. They're insane right now. I'm super pissed about this. I pretty much flamed my team for that. And I told them, you know, what are you doing? You don't do that kind of shit. Because, like, the moment the jungler dies, they should have been hopping onto this Baron. But the problem is, even if they did the Baron, I'm livid about this situation. Livid. But even if they do the Baron, I can just push and force them back. Alright, I get the fuck out of here. Actually, Ashley's looking to make a play here. You can see her ult on the map here. And she does hit someone. And this is where I go to ult. Oh, and I get one down. Unfortunately, I die here. Unlucky. I could have killed sooner if I wasn't blinded by Lux. And then maybe target the next target. But I've already taken so much damage. So we got all this pushing in. And this is a free Baron right here, by the way. So I told them to do that. So they're going to push this and they're going to make their way up here. So they got to do it ASAP. Stop wasting so much time. Go. Start hitting that shit. What are you doing? See him come up. Try and stop him. Alright, we got it. They're looking to stop their back. Get an ult. Kind of a waste, actually. She's most likely dead. Wow. Alright, let's see who gets away. We got through. Okay. I try to come in here, like back in here to make a play. I got my ghost. So I ghost in, but unfortunately everyone dies here. Gwen, not Gwen, but Ziri hopped over the wall. Try to catch her. Unfortunately. I dodged the mine and whatever. Go back to mid. Let's take a look at our. So we still got damage on this. So like when I get demonic, and let's say if I get Nashers, it'll start to scale AP into late game. You can do that. But in this situation, we're against a lot of poke. So I think I decide to go Warmong. But I don't build it. So I just build the bead and just go for more regeneration. That's pretty much the key. You're just using Warmong for regeneration. So as they poke you, for example, if they got lower dom, and you just back off, let them poke you down a little bit, which is quite a bit if they have lower dom into their build. You can just back off, you got ghost, you got your ult, get away, and you can just regenerate and go back in. You don't have to recall. Alright, so we're looking for a dive here. I go in, I take out Raka. No, I mean the Lux, my bad. I take out the Lux right away. My team's a little scared to go in. You know, I dive in, disable the tower, and then just not going in. Alright, that's fine. Ooh, nice ult. Okay. Let's see how much we got that tower. Let's see if we can get this tower. Looks like they're backing off. Alright, that's fine. Should have enough for demonic, so I'm juiced right now. I got all the damage items that I need. Especially these two items are extremely powerful in Volibear's ult. So his ult scales with 80 AP versus physical damage. So when you ult, your damage increases on the big boom, and then during the 12 seconds, your autos, your abilities deal more damage. So the AoE from this and this, plus your passive, is big. And you get more damage on the towers. and it works really nice. Demonic works really nice with Frostfire, and it procs off your autos because of the slow zone. So you don't have to hit an ability to activate this. You can just hit your with your auto one basic attack, and you got the demonic proc. So if you can't quite reach them, if your ability's on cooldown, you can proc it off your auto. So I all in. Demonic is just melting the shit out of her. She doesn't even have second item yet. Alright, I back off here. Twitch has got the crown, and Caitlyn's here. I just want to push. See, this is the type of situation where Warmog is really good. She's got Lord Doms right now. That's why I was taking so much damage. In a situation like this, Warmog would regenerate you, and you'd be able to go back in full health. So we're looking to end the game here. Alright, skip that inhibitor. Missed ult, so we have to back off a little bit. I'm trying to get my team to target the tower here. Got to demolish. Boom. I got my E. So I can shield myself. Big shield. And there you go. I got 9 kills. I didn't even pay attention to my KDA. And you can see Gwen, not a single kill. Kind of unusual for Gwen, but this is the type a game that you can have. If you can stop Gwen early, you can get ahead of her with a cheap mythic. While it takes forever for her to build this, and keep stomping her. Get the Hull Breaker, which is also cheap, and you get more resist out of it. And you got ability haste, so you can spam your W and Q more often. And that's pretty much how you're gonna roll right over. And Titanic with that Q spam over and over and the W. Titanic is gonna deal a lot of damage. And then the Monarch is just gonna burn her ass on top of the ignite. Thornmail is a good option here. Frozen Heart's also good. But yeah. So that's how you beat Gwen with my playstyle. And Gwen is one of those difficult matchups. Not every game I win against her. She's one of my most hated top lane champions to face. But it's kind of one of those situations where either she gets ahead or you do. And this is the best way to do it. Because if you go Riftmaker, it's doable, but you got to understand that Riftmaker costs a bit more, so you got to be careful. It's not bad because you just got to get to 1,300, and a lot of times you don't. So if you get that Leech and Leer, then you can snowball her, okay? But you got to understand all that time farming for 1,300. Most likely she will get the same item too. And let me tell you, Gwen with Riftmaker is far better than Volibear. She'll beat you in comparison. She's just better with it. Volibear is really good with Riftmaker, but Gwen is better. It's the same as Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser just uses Riftmaker better, unfortunately. So it's all about being ahead. So if you can build a Riftmaker before she does and snowball into second item, it can definitely work. But I'm gonna recommend Frostfire. Far more cheaper. The same as Frozen Heart. It's very cheap. That's why you can build it as a first item on Volibear. So yeah. So this is my Shrine Breaker playstyle. How to beat Gwen. You can see she's what is she behind? 2 items? Yep. And looked like their mid lane, Caitlyn, was actually doing pretty good. And it's weird because mid lane's doing well too. Kind of a weird game. See, I did the most damage on my team. Caitlyn, when she gets Lord Dom, she does an insane amount of damage. The most important thing on Volibear you got to understand is tower damage, putting pressure on that map. Objectives, because of the rifts, so if you pick up 2 of those, it's an easy early game. How much? 27 minutes? Not bad. It's almost going. I kind of consider late game like 30 minutes on is late game, and anything from like 20 to 30, I kind of consider that like mid game. And then anything before 20 minutes is kind of a It's still in the early game. And it's kind of like lane phase to the first rift, and then I call it early game. Technically mid game, but lane phase, I just call it lane phase. And then you got early game, which is the first rift, which is a small window, and then to the second rift into Baron. That's sort of mid game, up to 30 minutes, which is after the Baron, and then you go late game after that. That's how I like to call it. And there's the runes. You're stacking quite a bit of health. That's the whole important thing about this playstyle is scaling over the course of the game. So the more health you get off of graps, overgrowth, in combination of rune stats, and then you got absolute focus, gathering storm, gathering storm scales over the course of the game. This gives you 30 ability power. But when you scale it with Gathering Storm, it's just going to give you a shit ton of AP, especially when you keep your health above 70%. And you can easily do that with Volibear, especially with the Hullbreaker regeneration. You can get Warmog for that, and it's also incredibly good with Riftmaker, with the Vamp. You can keep your health up um, and abuse, that early trade damage in the lane phase, and also throughout the game. When you're just farming waves, going up to the tower, diving in with full amount of damage, you're extremely powerful the more health you stack, onto these items that scale with health and demolish. And you got Ignite and Ghost to completely run them down, take out a target, get the fuck out, or move on to the next target and keep going. And it's one of the reasons why I take this, in case there's one trying to defend while everybody's at the dragon. I just want to quickly dive, get that person out of the way, and keep my ult. I don't want to waste my ult. I want to be able to take the tower, take the inhibitor, take out whoever's in my way so I can ult the Nexus towers. So that's pretty much it. And if you don't have Ignite, you can definitely try to beat them. But you got to do it fast. You can't waste any time, because the moment you waste time, like I don't know, 10 to 20 seconds fighting one person, that you have a difficult time just quickly, stomping. It's like a beacon. Enemy team's gonna be like, oh, we gotta go back. You don't want to waste time. You just want to quickly go in, ignite that bitch, kill him, and within like 5 seconds or whatever, and then you can ult the Nexus towers instead of wasting 10 to 20 seconds before ulting the Nexus tower. The enemy's already going to be back trying to stop you. So that's one of the reasons why I run these sums. And if they do go back, I got my ghost still activated after I take down the target. So if they come back, I got ghosts and I can get the fuck out of there if I want to. So they just wasted their time going back. Yeah, they need to defend, but they just wasted their time. And if they decide to go back, like for example, if they're working on fighting at the Baron and they want to do the Baron, they want to fight or whatever, and they can do Baron, but I'm at their Nexus. So they go back, they can't do the Baron. So they're stuck trying to push a wave I've shoved into their base, and that just gives my team more time, and eventually they can do the Baron. So yeah. So you get a lot of a sense of split pushing in this game. Unfortunately, I don't do the Shine Breaker on the Nexus towers, but that's mainly because we utilized the second rift down the mid lane. We took out so many towers, and it was worth it. We could have ended, but unfortunately, my team just wasn't quite strong enough to do that, and we didn't want to risk the Baron. If you risk the Baron there, it can be a table flip. Um, so yeah, and mainly I wanted to do this video to focus on the matchup versus Gwen and how to beat her.